Hello, Aries friends. I'm Annie Botticelli, and welcome to my Aries October 2024 astrology horoscope forecast. Wow, what a month! One of the most intense of the whole year for sure, this September-October timeframe, especially for Aries. Lots of lunar effects for Aries placements at this time. Full moon in our sign. I'm an Aries rising, so all of this is happening with me or for me too. And then, of course, there's the Libra eclipse. Another cog in the wheel of this crazy time between 2023 and 2025 of the Aries Libra eclipse cycle that is opposing our sign. There are a ton of placements in Libra, all opposing our sign. So we've got a lot of things to talk about. And I'm going to go through each one and try to weave these strings of layers together to make the fabric of our astrological experience at this time so that you understand what's coming and can make the most of it. This is for you if Aries is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other Aries placement you're listening for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. And if you're a very late degree Aries friend, so birthdays like April 15th through the rest of the sign, or Aries degrees 23 degrees through the rest of the sign, I suggest you additionally listen to my Taurus report, as your very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. I will be working off the chart for this report. YouTube friends, you'll see the chart. Podcast friends, I'm going to post the chart as the thumbnail so that you can see what we're focusing on here. The predominant focus is here to the right in the 7th and 8th houses with all of those planets in Libra. You can see those scales in the right top quadrant. So that's what we're going to be really focused on, although we will have this discussion about the Aries full moon in the first house that is completely opposite that. I'm actually going to start with the full moon in Aries. It's not chronological with the dates that I'm going to talk about, but I want to start with this because this is our sign. This is our full moon. It's rare that this happens. And I want to talk about how big this is. Okay, so October 17th and the days around it. Remember, days leading up to it, days afterwards. Definitely in the zone 24 degrees that's happening at. All of us are going to be affected by this, but anyone that's between 19 degrees or has Aries planets between 19 degrees and the rest of the sign are more likely to notice this, but it's a big enough thing that even if you're not in that zone, you know, it probably can bring pretty profound potentials. So that's basically going to be April 9th through the rest of the sign-ish, you know, because the sun does not move into Aries on the same day each year. That's why I say around, because you know, it could be a couple of days in either direction. But around the 9th through the rest of the sign and the closer to around the 14th, 15th, 16th of April, the more you're going to get that direct hit from this full moon. So let's talk about full moons. Full moons bring completion, fruition, drama. This full moon is also going to be conjunct Chiron and Eris, which is, you know, these are two very heavy hitter outer planets. So there's going to be an additional intensity here, an additional clearing, an additional elucidation, an additional bringing up of repressed things, of things that had been glossed over, things we may not even be aware of that were problems for us, ancestral things, and could also be something positive, not just like gunk coming out. But it could be something else that wants to see the light, and that's what this time is about. It's about bringing projects to fruition. Often full moons will signify the culmination of efforts. And in Aries, this is particularly related to personal initiatives, personal goals, health goals. If you've been working on something important, this full moon can definitely bring it to a successful conclusion. There could have been a 13 moon cycle at play here. You know, it could have been a shorter cycle, you know, a 27 to 28 day cycle. But this is a very profound time. Endings and new beginnings are very much signified by full moons and new moons. So both the Libra eclipse and the full moon in Aries are bringing this energy. And of course, the Pisces eclipse that from September that's still affecting us now. All of that can bring this energy of endings and new beginnings. So the full moon might be highlighting an area of your life where something needs to end in order to make way for the new stuff. This could mean letting go of old patterns, old situations that aren't serving you, that you know, really will rally behind your independence and your self-assertion. This is about you. This is about you in the limelight. This is about how you think, what you're doing, and your personal flow. Aries people, remember, we have cardinal energy. It moves in a finite direction, and that direction is forward. So I always notice that, like, if somebody walks in front of me and they come out of nowhere, I may run into them. And I'm not trying to be aggressive. It's just that once we start a trajectory, sometimes even physically, it's very difficult to slow that roll because it's just so strongly moving forward. And, you may see this about yourself. So there's something that is moving like this. It's like a projectile. It's trying to come out, and at this time, probably nothing can stop it. Now, something else that can happen at full moons, of course, is that there's a heightened emotion. Because Aries is a fire sign, there could be heightened passion. We could find increased confidence, boldness and courage, determination, a strong urge to take action or make decisions. And I'm going to start to feed into this discussion this impending Mars retrograde. Mars, so as of October 7th, so September 12th through October 7th, if you've listened to my September report, this will not be new to you. If you haven't already listened to my September report, even if it's past that time, do yourself a huge favor, go back and listen to it, because two of the things that are affecting us now still are discussed at more detail in the September report. So podcast friends, just scroll back in the podcast listening to get to Aries September. YouTube friends, I'll put the playlist at the end, or you can just search for it on Annie Botticelli, my YouTube channel, because the Pisces eclipse that's in the 12th house, that's starting that new cycle that will run into 2027, even though that happened September 17th, it is echoing out now. So we will be having more layers of what is affecting October from what happened in September. And then the second thing is this period of time, September 12th through October 7th, I do a very detailed job of exploring the importance of that time, that report, and I will touch on it and dance kind of back and forth with it here because it's so important, but I don't want you to miss anything. So basically, September 12th through October 7th, we're free from personal planet retrogrades and their shadow periods. Personal planets that go retrograde are Mercury, Venus, and Mars. Mars is our ruler as an Aries. And Mars co-rules Scorpio, but it's our only ruler. And notice that the shape of it, even the symbol of it, is that projectile forward movement energy. That is what it's like. It's cardinal. And so this time period is very critical to know, not only now, but for the rest of the year and well into 2025. Because once Mars starts to go into its shadow period after October 7th, every day will get deeper and deeper and deeper until December 6th, when it actually goes retrograde. Be retrograde for a while, then the post-shadow period will take a while to wear off. And in between that time, there will be, into next year, there will be more Mercury retrograde, there will be a Venus retrograde. So we're on the precipice here of a massive personal planet retrograde cycle. And it's not bad. Aries people can sometimes especially get an association with negativity for retrogrades because they're often about going back over things and not forward movement, which we love. It's often, not in the flow with necessarily what we're trying to do, but there's some other agenda that we have to follow. And we're not always great at that, right? We have our own agenda and we can follow it through. But, this takes a little bit of syncing up. But I have come to experience Mars retrograde as an Aries rising as very, very positive because I take a break from myself and my ambitions wane. I let them instead of being frustrated about it. Jupiter on October 9th through February 4th will also be retrograde. So big visions and the assertion to pull them through may get less inspired. You may, be in general less inspired, less forward moving, less thinking, and if you're okay with it and you don't try to be like, what's wrong with me? I have to force this. Then you can be really happy and relax and just see what the tides bring to you. September 12th through October 7th is a time to conjure, a time to put things out that you want the tides to bring out far and wide. Launches, big decisions, things you need more clarity and forward movement and long distance into the future planning. And then as the tides start to come in, just hang out on the shore or use my spider analogy. And in, September 12th through October 7th, weave all your webs. And then as we start to get into the retrograde energy, be the spider and let stuff come to you. And then aggressively jump on what comes to you if you want to, if that has to happen. But, it's shifting. So that's a very important thing to know that factors into the Mars retrograde that is starting to, to impend here. And then this factors back in to the Aries full moon because the moon is going to maybe make us want to take action on something. And if you're feeling that and it feels right, take advantage of any inspiration you get, because over time there may be less of it. And also you may have a harder time getting other people to do what they say they're going to do. So Mars is going to bring this very long-term focus into home and family. It's not only retrograde, or not retrograde, right now it's direct, but it's not only moving through the sign of home, family, and housing and real estate for us, it's also moving through the house of home, family, real estate, and housing for us. Okay, so you may see at this moon time some kind of tie in back to something with that as well that can have to do with it. So if you're feeling froggy, this may be one of your last opportunities to jump. All right, so passionate reactions can be incurred from this energy, for better or worse. It could be very impulsive. Definitely guard your head. If you're into scary, dangerous things, don't let this be the time that you don't wear a helmet. This is like super helmet wearing time for Aries, and it really actually could save your life at this time. If you have any head symptoms or headaches or, pressure in your head, sinuses, things like that, it may be a time where investigating those symptoms, you can find some long-term relief. I'm going to do a little bit more in this full moon because it's such a big deal, and then we'll go on to this whole big thing going on in the 7th house. Okay, so you may have more empowerment to act and take initiative. You may be able to break through some obstacles. And remember, with Chiron and Eris present here very close to the full moon, which is at 24 degrees, it's just like full moon's dancing right between those points. Chiron has this woundedness, physical woundedness, spiritual woundedness. It could be something having to do with your health or early self-esteem issues from childbirth, or like your first couple of years of life. You could be healing. This full moon could bring something out or bring something to a conclusion. If you've been trying to heal something, this could be an epic time for that. And it's really a focus on, asserting independence and leadership opportunities and taking charge and, taking any last bits of inspiration that you can get before you start to get a little lazier. One other thing to know about Mars retrograde before I start talking about other stuff is that Mars retrograde can tend to have this dual edge, and you'll see both of these things manifest. Some things you'll be less inspired, more lazy, and other people will be too. Your ambitions may likely wane. But the flip side of that is there will be certain things that you may get very hot on, like obsessive mono focus on, to the exclusion of other things. So you may notice that there's this, like, something starts flowing. And if that thing is flowing, it's not meeting resistance, that could be a good indication that that's what you're supposed to be putting your energy into, because it's just flowing naturally. And you're like, wait, this is easy. All this other stuff is not working out, but this is, follow that. Now, if the thing that you're really excited about is not flowing easily, that may be time to reconsider whether you should be putting time into that, because, the flow is going to kind of tell you where you should be at this time. And that's, if you're looking out for it, that's one of the really good things, because it will be obvious. Big writing projects, speaking projects, teaching, learning, some things may start to go backwards. You may go back to education opportunities that you had before from Jupiter going in retrograde. And mobility projects, you may get mobility back. You may go back to places that you've been before during this time. So, and your big long-term plans may just, have a little cooling off. And some things that were really moving forward may just stop. So if you know that that is happening between October 9th and February 4th, 2025, then you don't have to be as put out when that goes on. Okay, so let's talk about this whole big Libra party that's happening. I'm going to cross the moon out for right now because that's a shorter term transit, and we'll speak to all of this with the eclipse later. So the players are, or the participants of the party, the Libra party, are transiting South Node, the Sun, Mercury, Estrella, Lilith, and Juno. And then on October 2nd, right there at the beginning of the month, we've got the 10-degree Libra solar eclipse opposing our sign, part of the Aries Libra eclipse cycle that began at the beginning of 2023, is in effect until through the first half of 2025. This is the second to last eclipse cycle that is occurring in this time. Now, I'm going to talk at length about this eclipse energy and about this Libra energy. I want to give you some more dates to help you better your understanding about what's going on here. The we Aries eclipse cycle energy that's shuffling things around with your independence, interdependence, synergy, codependence, merging, all of this stuff, a lot of that's been changing since the beginning of 2023. I'm sure you have some stories. I know I do. Crazy stories about how that is true. And this happened before. Okay. This happens regularly at intervals of around 9-ish years. So from the middle of 2013 through the first half of 2016, this happened. Beginning of 2004 through the first half of 2006, this happened. If you think back to those times, you may have remembered major new relationship chapters, and the solar eclipse on October 2nd can bring a brand new relationship of consequence, as I call a POC, a person of consequence, into your life. And with all this Libra energy, you may have many POCs come into your life in different contexts. But a lot of this energy is short term. This eclipse is long term. So a POC may come into your life, or a new chapter within a POC that's already in your life. These people of consequence, something new happening, something refreshing, something that's come from a lot of the clearing that has been going out, the karmic clearing that has been happening, because the eclipses relate to karma. So karmic clearing about health stuff for Aries, karmic clearing about relationship patterns for Aries. And always everything is doubly true for Aries, because not only is the Aries energy in the Aries sign, it's in the Aries house for Aries, meaning we have a natural chart. So, and we're the only ones that have this. Okay. So in the 7th house, all the Libra energy is not only moving through the sign of Libra, it's moving through our Libra house of the 7th house. So all of that's going on. And you can think back to those times when you started new relationships, in those years that we talked about, 2004 through the first half of 2006, middle of 2013 through the first half of 2016. Started new relationships, births, deaths, transformations of all different kinds. This is autonomy and independence, big steps in those directions, important merging, important karmic undertakings relationship-wise, very important strategic relationship building could have been occurring at these times. So the transiting south node here is giving you an invitation, is giving you an opportunity to release old habits that relate to releasing toxic relationship patterns. I mean, that's really what this is about. And then starting that brand new, fresh solar eclipse energy. Now, on that topic, everyone in the Aries spectrum can and likely will see something notable. But those of you who are closer to 10 degrees, so we'll say 5 degrees through 15 degrees, with 10 being the closest. So that's going to be like March 25th through like April 5th or 6th, and the closer to around April 1st, April 2nd, etc., or 10 degrees, the more you get a direct hit from this. And this is in opposition. Opposition is just like it sounds. It's pulling and pushing. It's things needing you on one side of the equation, but things calling out on the other side. So you needing things, asserting things, but relationships really needing things, and you finding that beautiful balance. And that's what it's all about, is that balance point that comes from, that magic that comes from, and you get all the balls up in the air and you're juggling them perfectly and you're in that beautiful flow. So, this can help you to do that. So this is an invitation to release outdated relationship dynamics and to let go of codependent behaviors that drain your energy and enable other people into negative behaviors. This is a radical time for karmic relationship healing and clearing the path for soul-aligned partnerships or soul-aligned levels within the partnerships that you already have. That's romantic, business, family, clients, etc. Now, the sun adding to this party, all of these members of this party, this mastermind intellectual air meeting in Libra, everybody's brainstorming here on how relationships can be better, how things can be better together, and that's a big theme of this time. So the sun is adding to that voice, elucidating, illuminating, helping you to gain clarity on your relational needs, strengthening your connections, embracing the power of partnership, putting your autonomy and independence and strength and boldness into the power of relationships, and inspiring other people. Aries people are really good at that. I talk about this a lot, having been an Aries that both has been a major catalyst for massive negative things in the past, especially when I drank a long time ago, did not use my powder keg tendencies in a good way in those times in my life. But we do affect things. And, part of my goal for working with Aries energy and, and speaking to Aries people is to help you see just how powerful and influential you really are, whether you see 5 people regularly or whether your influence spreads out further. Your influence is very, very impactful. And is it the best? Is it what you want it to be? Is it going to be what you'll be proud of when you look back over it when you're older? And you have a chance at this time, a new chance to really shuffle things around and put your best into your relationship and inspire people. This is a massively transformational cycle of bringing more harmony and balance into your partnerships, of bringing more of your best self, of finding common ground with people, of ending adversarial relationships. Mercury can help build these strategic communications within relationships, systems of communication, ways of relating, meaningful dialogue, all of this wonderful stuff. You can refine and redefine your relationship dynamics. This Mercury influence can definitely help you to have more clear and thoughtful communication in your relationships and to hear people better and to be heard and just create a more harmonious relational environment. Now, before we leave Mercury, I want to point out a few dates. October 8th, Mercury will actually make a trine with Jupiter. Okay, so look out for nice expansion and opportunities at that time. I'm going to give you quite a few dates. I've already given you some dates. If you want more dates, I'll go back to the discussion here in a second. But if you're a person that likes my favorite dates of the month and be awareful and careful dates of the month and the sweet and salty, go to anniehelpsyou.com, put your name and email address in, click receive, get the welcome letter, go to the archive link in the welcome letter and put October 2024 astrology, and you will get that right up with even more dates. Okay. But I'm going to give you some more. So October 8th, beautiful trine with Mercury in Libra. This is an air trine, meeting of the minds, expansion of possibilities, expression of ideas. This can be amazing for content creation if you're a content creator or creating anything. And then as Mercury moves into Scorpio, we'll talk more about that later, but I just want to mention now that there will be a trine in the days around October 21st and 22nd when Mercury gets in Scorpio with Saturn. So some long-term things possibly gelling. And then in the days around Halloween, Mercury will get into this beautiful Neptunian trine. The veils are really thin at that time. Scorpio energies already make the veils thin. Samhain, Halloween, Dia de los Muertos, all of these, All Saints Day, all of these traditions, speak to the very thin veils at this time. And it can be perfect. This aspect, this trine with Neptune, can be perfect for sending and receiving information or prayers to those who have passed on. And it can also boost the chance for synchronicities and messages to come back to you from beyond. So this is, a really powerful time of connecting between worlds. And that Pisces eclipse that I suggested you listen to the September report about, that's happening in this 12th house too. So, that's also bringing that energy that's still flavoring this time of going beyond the seen realm and going into spiritual transformation. Okay, so let's go back to our Libra party over here. We've got a lot going on. We also have Estrella there. I like to think of Estrella as a healing balm. So healing through relationships or healing relationships or restoration or healing past wounds. And again, bringing that balance. And then Lilith is there. And this can help you to embrace authentic connections. Maybe some things, the air needs to be cleared. Maybe there's some level of reclaiming your power within your relationships or giving power to someone who may have been needing it, like really empowering them. This can also give you a chance to stand very firm in your values and to get clear on what they are and see exactly what you're going to assert. Jupiter and Mars in their retrograde cycles help us to really become a lot more discerning with what we use our energy for and then put our power behind those smaller amount of choices rather than those diverse amount of things. So you may see this at work here. And there could be an unleashing of relationship strength. So you could become part of a power couple with somebody or a power combination that can bring just a massive amount of healing. Again, since these energies are in opposition and because of the things going on at the full moon with Chiron and Aries, there is also this chance for repressed energy to come out old yucky stuff from beyond before your lifetime. It could be ancestral patterning. It could be stuff that has been programmed into people's beliefs from a nurturing perspective that your parents or society have, given you, that you then have to deal with. So this can be a time to break free from these limiting types of beliefs and really navigate any challenges within relationships and emerge stronger together, or see the clarity that there may have to be something different that goes on. Then we've got Juno there. Juno is about commitment. Juno will bring this energy of commitment, actually rules the seventh house and rules the sign of Libra as well. So we're looking at, where you can commit into relationships. So you've got the energy of the full moon bringing more energy to your independence, but then we also have the question of how you can commit to making your partnerships more harmonious and balanced and establish these lasting connections that will, enrich you for a long time to come. Of course, that solar eclipse is just going to be the most powerful catalyst for relational transformation possible. And we only have one more chapter of this storyline. So there are some things that have been at work here. And, we're almost at the end of that story. So things are developing and you'll be able to see how it's progressing. Now, as the Sun and Mercury and Venus is already in Scorpio, as these energies move through Scorpio and move through the house of Scorpio for Aries, this is a time where some of the water of those transits may be put on your fire. You may need to stop, to pause, to slow down, to deal with yours or other people's emotional issues or topics. It's a time to connect deeply and get more quiet. And Mars in retrograde actually helps this in many ways because it helps us to cool our jets about other things. And, Jupiter also retrograde. It just brings us front and center to the things and the people right in front of us. So you might have a lot of things to navigate through for better and worse, but you could have just a very deep, intimate, beautiful connection time here. And the Sun here can definitely illuminate this power of transformation that comes from merging with other people. This can be about financial merging and financial support, or just the emotional, intimate space. It can be a catalyst for profound change. Scorpio rules birth and death and transformation and rebirth. Mars is a co-ruler to Scorpio, but Pluto also rules Scorpio. So this is a time to dive deep into your psyche, also supported by these 12th house transits and aspects that are occurring because those are both water houses. So Mercury there in Scorpio again brings this energy of strategizing and planning to personal transformation. There could be legacy building, inheritance topics, paperwork, taxes, government things, wills or investments that need attention. And this might start to bring your mind to these places. Venus in this place can bring you more money through your 8th house, which is other people's money, make you more likely to find money, be given money, win money, things like that. And it can also just bring more love and nurturance into your deep relationship space. Okay, so make sure you like, subscribe, and click the bell. As I've been told, if you don't click the bell, you won't receive my notifications. And if you enable notifications, it makes it even more likely that you're not going to miss anything that I post. And if you want early access to my public horoscopes, then go to anniehelpsyou.com. You will see this page. Scroll down there, put your name and email address in here, click receive. You'll get a welcome letter into your inbox. Sometimes it goes to spam. You can find it there and move it to your inbox. And there will be my eclipse resource page. There will be my zodiac health tips. You'll get my 28-day virtual coaching program. All of this for free. These are VIP perks. And at that archive link, you can search for October 2024 astrology to get my write-up of the sweet and salty dates. A lot of different dates that I didn't talk about in this report of aspects that you will really want to know and how you may see them manifest. Lots more goodies. I'm always finding out ways I can give extra perks to this community. You also get monthly mini astrology lessons. Now, if you're interested in learning astrology and you want something more structured and a system, I have that too. I've been an astrology teacher for decades, and I've helped many, many people get to where their passion of the stars helps them to earn money. So you can scroll down on that same page, click on up level, and you will see my Astrology Basics and Beyond course or my Become a Professional Astrologer Mastery Certification course. If you think I put a lot into my free offerings, you should see what I put into those courses. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.